And this one dude came in, and he was. I remember thinking, like, he might be good for Trunks. Like, might be a really good, like, I haven't heard anyone like that. Because I was really worried about Trunks coming up when we were recording, because I knew that of all the characters that were introduced in the series, Trunks was the most important and the most difficult, because all the other characters you kind of got to get used to over time. But Trunks has to come in like absolutely amazing from the get-go. He absolutely has to be incredible from the very start. So I needed somebody who was really strong for that. And I remember writing like Trunks question mark on his audition sheet, and I put it away. And it was months after that we were really starting to cast for Trunks in earnest, maybe 6 months later. And I sent out the auditions, and I was holding all these auditions for it, and I couldn't find anybody. I was like, damn, I just cannot, like, no one's really popping for this role. And then I was like, wait a minute, there's that one dude that came in that I thought would be a great Trunks. I gotta go find that piece of paper. And of course, I couldn't find it. It's like, but I knew he was one of the few actors that had brought in a headshot, which is unusual because most voice actors don't bring in a headshot unless you're a film actor, which he was. And he left it with his resume, and I found that. And all it was a picture of his face and his name on it, but it didn't have his contact information on the back of it. Well, lo and behold, the person I was recording that day was Tiffany Vollmer. She was the original voice of Bulma. I was like, I wish I could find this guy to play Trunks. She goes, I know that guy. He's a friend of mine in Denton. I'm like, are you kidding? She goes, yeah, he works at a pizza place. I go, you gotta be, do you know how to get in touch with him? She goes, yes. And so she contacted him, and he came up later that day and auditioned for me. And Eric, that's where we found Eric Vale, and Eric became the voice of Trunks. So think about that. The voice of Vegeta is searching for Trunks. Bulma is the person that knows. It's amazing. That will always be one of my favorite stories about casting the show, because he's just such Eric is hands down one of my favorite people, one of the best